Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This feels really weird to say because I've always imagined it but I never did it, so here I am. Today I'm going to be filming a very simple look, nothing too crazy. Just my everyday routine but just a little more glamorous. I'm using some of my most favorite products, my most used products, and I'm also going to feature the new Sultry palette, not Soft Glam. So let's just jump right in it. So I'm gonna start off with my favorite primer ever. It's the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. It's really great, super hydrating, also has coconut water in it, helps restore any electrolytes in your face with hyaluronic acid in it as well. You can see I'm like squeezing out the last of it. Warm it up and pat it in. I did moisturize beforehand as well after my morning routine. And today we're going to use my favorite Dior. It's the Backstage foundation. I have the shade 3WO, which is 3 Warm Olive. It is a little bit warmer for my face, but personally I do like to go a little darker for my foundation. I just find it helps cover up pigmentation a bit more, even out my skin tone. Helps me from looking so pale as well. So just dot it around. It is a very runny foundation, so really nice if you're looking for something light, not heavy at all, really long lasting. I wore this on Canada Day last year. I had 3 clients. I was running around everywhere, and then I had to go to my cousin's graduation party after. It's a really hot day. I think it was like 32 degrees or something, and everything stayed put. I was shook. As you can see, again, it is darker. I don't know if you can see, actually. I'm just looking at my viewfinder. Oh, actually looks good on camera. Like, obviously compared to this side, like my face looks lighter and then this side looks a little warmer, but I really like this color. I would say it's even better than the NARS Sheer Glow and cheaper than the NARS Sheer Glow, so you know. And in case y'all didn't know, this is the same foundation that Meghan Markle wore to her wedding. She wore it before it was released out to the public. Really nice. I really like it. And then we're gonna go in with the trusty NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I wear the shade Custard. So I am just applying this under the eye. I remember when I first used this concealer, I was so amazed at how great it was with not just concealing. I feel like there are more full coverage concealers out there, but it was just so smooth under the eye. I have a huge issue with creasing and just everything looking very scaly and dry because, again, I have drier skin, and this was just beautiful. I was like, how have I not used this before? That was obviously because I was broke. I was a broke student. I'm going to use my trusty beauty blender. This is the Sapphire beauty blender. Don't know why, but this particular color cleans, like, it gets so clean. The pink one, no matter what I do, foundations will always stain it, like the original pink beauty blender. But this one, like, everything just washes out so beautifully. No stain is left on it. And then whatever is left on my sponge, I like to take onto my eyelid. Of course, if you have oilier eyelids or you have a really long day ahead, you do still want to use an eyelid primer. Just patting. I have smaller lips, so that's why I like creating these 2 lines. Then on the chin for my highlight areas. Now we're going to set the face with the trusted Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, of course. And even though I have drier skin, like, it's not a terrible setting powder, I definitely don't bake with it. I just apply it like that, like pick a bit up with my sponge. And I just blend it in right away. Because I find when I bake, personally, that's when I get the lines, the scaliness, and just all over dryness, and it's not a pretty look for me. I'm gonna apply again my highlight areas and areas that I do get a little bit more shine. So my forehead, bridge of my nose, and whatever's left on my chin, because my chin doesn't get too oily. It's usually very cooperative. Your base is done. So now we're gonna add in some dimension. One of my favorite bronzers is the Hoola, Benefit Hoola. I'm going to use this Sephora magnetic standing brush. This is actually a highlight brush, but I find it's too fluffy and big to use as my highlight. That's why I find it fits perfectly into the contours of my cheek. That's why I like using this one. Starting off at the top of the ears, going towards the mouth, but stopping halfway on the cheek. A little bit on the forehead. I'm going to take a small brush. It's an angled shadow brush from BH. It's from their Rose Quartz collection, I believe. I'm actually going to use that to contour my nose. So I like to start off at the under my brow here. Just follow that line straight down. I do like to bring it in a little bit more to contour, to make my nose a little bit more narrow. Whatever's left on my brush, I take on my Cupid's bow again to make my lips look a little fuller, and underneath here to create a shadow, again making my lips look more full. My favorite blushes ever, the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Amazonian Clay 12-hour blushes are 12-hour blushes. Tap tap, and that's it. You don't want a lot. You can always build it up. You just don't want to start off strong, because that's when your girl gets turned off. And again, because we're going more neutral with the eyes with the Sultry palette, I don't want all my attention to be on the cheek. See how it just creates like a bit of a flush, but nothing crazy. So next I'm gonna go in with my beautiful Becca highlight. This is in the shade Opal. It's a really beautiful color, warm enough without being too cool. Just really great, especially for personally my complexion, like a light to medium complexion. I'm taking another brush from the BH Rose Quartz collection. This is like actually a highlight brush. Alright, and starting off at the top of the cheekbone. Like, do you see that already? Like, so nice. Just taking that underneath my brow bone and on my forehead. Whatever's left, I'm putting on my chin. Just creating a nice radiant look. I love the look of dewy skin, but just because it doesn't last long, I like creating that illusion with highlight. I'm actually going to use my ring finger for my nose. I like dotting it on the very tip here, not too low, because again, we contoured that area, so it's going to be counterintuitive if you bring it down too low. So just the tip there, and then on the bridge. So again, we're using the Sultry palette. It's so pretty. Again, I tried to resist purchasing this, but I couldn't. Like when I got that, what was it, $25 off and you spend $50 or more at Sephora, I was like, I have to. So we're gonna start off with the color Twig. It's a really nice crease color. So I like to start off right underneath my arch, because that's where you want it to be the darkest. And I like to pat it lightly, and then once I see the color is there, that's when I start blending it out. So we're going to use Dystopian here, so it's the darker color. Again, be really light-handed. You can always build it up. So just literally 1, 2. So we're doing it right underneath here. Again, right underneath the arch. And you're not going to go as high as we did with the transition color, and you're going to keep it right in the crease. So patting it in first and then blending, going back and forth. And then I'm going to take a mix of Twig and Dystopian, and using the same brush, I'm going to go underneath my eyes. Should I add some color? I want to add some color. I'm going to use Bloom. So again, very lightly press into it. I'm going to tap off some excess just because I don't want to go too crazy yet. Just going to use that right underneath, again, the darker crease color we just put, just to add a pop. Ooh, I like that so much. I'm not mad at all. So again, using the ring finger, I'm gonna go in with Rose Quartz. Such a pretty color. Ooh. Starting off in the center. Wow. That's beautiful. Okay. So there is a bit of fallout, but I just like taking my highlight brush, just again, because there's not too much highlight because we used whatever there was on it. Just dusting those off. I like it. I'm going to Pearl. That's a really beautiful color. Like such a perfect inner corner highlight. The struggle with nails is real. Like, going in as close as I can with my curler to my natural lash line. I'm just gonna curl it. My Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. Personally, what I like to do with my eyeliner, I like to create the wing first, going with my natural, like the natural curve of my eye. See that? And then you just bring the line in. So like I could even leave it at that. We're gonna do the same thickness on top, connecting it all. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're good. Who am I trying to impress? Next is mascara. I'm using my trusty roller liner from Benefit. So I always start with my bottom lashes first, and I do the typical wiggle and pull down. This is where I'm extra. We're gonna go into my little brows now. I love my brows. Like, I like the shape. It just, they need to, you know, they need a little buddy to go with them. Okay, so we are gonna use the Benefit Brow in number 5. So as like a frame of reference, I also use the Dip Brow in Ebony. I know a lot of people are like, oh, if you have darker hair, you're supposed to use a little bit of a lighter brow color, but I'm like, no, I like them bold. Even some people say don't use anything darker than number 4 in Benefit products. I like it dark. I don't know what to tell you. I like them how I like my coffee. Like strong, bold, dark. Aww. Jokes, I put 2 creams in my Tim Hortons coffee. Now I'm going to use one of my favorite lashes ever. They are more dramatic. Wow, I said I'm going for a natural look. Who am I? Like, it is the Velour Silk Lashes. This is the style Fluff and Thick. It's really beautiful. I really like them. They're not that long, so you can still see the eyeshadow that you have on has a really nice wing effect in it as well. So it's shorter at the front, longer at the ends, again complementing that wing. So I'm just using my Duo Lash Glue with the applicator. I find it so much easier than the squeeze tube ones. The squeeze tube ones are messy, get everywhere. They just like, they're a hot mess, girl. So while we're waiting for those to dry a bit, I'm going to put on a lip. I'm gonna put on the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick in Patina. The glue is a little bit tacky. It's not fully dried, so it's gonna stick to the lids. So I like placing it in the center first. Again, lashes always take lots of practice. Girl, this looks so good. It looks really thick in like the camera, but it's a lot like fluffier in person. I like it. I still like it. We're gonna set everything with the all-nighter spray. Hands down the best spray I have ever used in my life. Nothing compares to it. And that is that, my friend. Alright, so that's a wrap on this look. Again, this is my first video, so honestly, don't be nice. Tell me what I need to improve on. Tell me what's going on. My mom's home just in time. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.